Test, test, test. Okay, I'm assuming we're alive, but the live stream health is uh, yellow or orange, which means it should be green for a good streaming. Now it's orange where it says viewer may be experiencing minor issues. Should I proceed or not? Maybe I'll just proceed and see, because I think no one is watching me live anyway. But I just maybe this will be the testing where after it recorded and saved as a video in YouTube, I'm going to check whether the is there any problem or buffering issues there also. Right. So yeah, going for today's topic and random thoughts on texting. So yeah, where's my mouse? Not only the live stream is a problem, my mouse is also a problem. All right, so today we're going to be talking about texting or text messaging, whichever you prefer. And this is random thoughts. And in case anyone is actually watching, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good greetings. Right, so before we go into the topic, this is the end of a very long working day. So let me close this browser. If I'm not presentable, I'll blame it on that. And the fan is full blast there. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the sound. Hopefully this is still clear. And yeah, I pretend someone is actually watching anyway. So texting or text messaging, right? So I will start with this. I will start with a story of my personal experience while I was driving. Is it yesterday or the day before? Right. So I was driving, while driving. Well, why one of my hand is like this because I was holding my phone and just scrolling on Facebook page, right? Is it called wall or wall? What do you call it? I don't even know. Anyway, but okay, that's not true. Who actually take a look at Facebook when they are driving, right? I wasn't. It's just text messaging on WhatsApp, right? So while I was doing that, and suddenly I saw someone on a motorcycle, right? Initially the motorcycle is in front of me. I see two legs going on the side behind, right? Apparently there's a small kid that he put on the a carrier, and that guy was, assuming text messaging on his phone or checking what's on Instagram or etc. Right? I don't know, but sometimes that's the assumption, right? Either Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram, right? I think all the three belong to the same company right now, right? But anyway, that's beside the point. So I was looking and why do people hold onto the phone while driving? No, okay, I'm not story about myself, but while riding a motorcycle, that is not safe for sure, right? And so that got me thinking on why are people so addicted to text messaging or social media. I'll focus on this topic on text messaging primarily. I assume people cannot put down their phone more on text messaging rather than social media, especially when riding or driving. This is my assumption from my generation. Perhaps the newer generation, the younger generation might think differently, because I think some of them do not even know what Facebook is. I'm not sure what is your age, um, but I think we have had some encounter with younger generation where they do not even have any Facebook account. They just have Instagram, right? So to me, that's surprising. What, you don't have Facebook? What's so special about Instagram? I don't know, because maybe I'm too old already, but I'm lost touch of this generation, the new generation. But anyway, so the topic is messaging, text messaging, right? And while driving, sorry, I'm not blaming me that drive the car, but let's today blame those who ride motorcycle and still text messaging, right? um, Let me take it to us another story where this actually happened to me. We were back in the north part of our country, of Malaysia, in Perlis. I don't remember what season was that, but we the whole family go back to Perlis, and we are driving to go somewhere. I do not remember what, but I just remember this episode. We were quite lost. We pull over to the side of the road just to check where is the direction, and we just sometimes take a look at the road, take a look at the side mirror. I noticed there's a motorcycle far behind, right, coming down from a bridge, something like that, going to the road. I just see it. It's a normal sight, right? So continue discussing how did we end up losing or lost, right, the direction, right? And suddenly when I look back at the side mirror, the guy riding the motorcycle is already near my car, and it seems to heading straight for my car. And apparently that guy is holding the phone and focusing on the phone, meaning from way back there until almost hitting my car, he do not realize there's a car parking. It's like maybe 10 seconds to come to that point. He is too focused on his phone and not realizing there's a car parking on the side of the road. When he realized, and I got shocked at that what I saw, did not react. Of course, in the hindsight, I should have like pressed the honk. What is it? Horn, is it? Press to make a sound to make him realize. But I got shocked and just see at the rear view mirror or something. That guy realized it almost too late, but just enough to swerve, so that he actually hit still the back of the car, but at the rear lamp, rear, what do you call it? The rear brake light. I'm not sure the technical term. I'm sorry, I'm not an English speaking person, but that guy hit his motorcycle on the edge of the back right side, and then fall over. The motorcycle, fall over. He fall over, and the phone fall over. Right. So he damaged that rear lamp. I'm just calling it lamp, right? What's the technical word for that? Rear light, is it? Brake light or something. But anyway, so that two story that shows that people are hooked on their phone even while riding motorcycle. Right? That's dangerous. Proven by the second story there. Right? If the one who is riding motorcycle is actually the person behind, right? For two person riding motorcycle, the one is driving, basically is riding, is maneuvering, and this the person behind looking at his phone. When I look at it, it still seems like a dangerous thing to do. Personally, I think, but still it's much safer than the guy that is actually maneuvering the motorcycle is the one that is on the phone, right? So that's a big question, I think, that need to be asked. Why are we so addicted to our text messaging? to our phone, right, generally speaking. But let's zoom in to text messaging, that we cannot even put down the phone while riding motorcycle, which is I don't know. I don't ride motorcycle. First disclaimer. So I do not know how it's different than driving. I assume driving is much safer. If I'm not promoting this, I'm not condoning this. I'm just saying. Right? If you're driving on while phone, because the steering, I think, is much more stable than. I don't know. Some people might disagree, because I don't have personal experience on riding motorcycle, so I do not know if you only have one hand and your eyes is not on the road. How is it different than riding a car and eyes not on the road, right? Both are dangerous. Both should not be done, right? I'm just saying. Anyway, so that story leads to this question though. Why are we so addicted? When some people might ask, is addiction the correct word to use, right? In my opinion, yes, because, and even more so, I don't know, if someone is addicted to drug, or what else are you addicted to? Some people might say, I don't know, I don't have any personal experience on this, but I would think that they will not get to the point even while riding motorcycle, they are still doing drug at that particular time, at the same time, simultaneously. I don't know if it ever happened, but I don't think so, right? But I never have any friend that take drug anyway, so I don't know. I don't have any point of reference. Just saying. But this is, I think, the level of this addiction is, in that sense, even more severe, that you cannot even leave it in the situation where your life might be dependent on it. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so okay, let's discuss this. How, because to discuss on why is it addictive, how to escape this addiction, that's one story that maybe I don't have any thought on that specifically at this time. So if we are going in that direction, I'm totally blank. I don't know what to say about that. But what I do have in mind is how this addiction, okay, before we go to addiction, how text messaging, first and foremost, how text messaging have changed our reality, right? First and foremost, it is a good technology that we have. It's relatively new, right? Recent, because I can still remember the day when text messaging is not a norm. Even SMS is, I mean, before text messaging, where we have WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. There's the era of SMS, right, where you can short text message via SMS. Before that, even handphone is not a thing, right? There's that bulky portable phone or something, but it's not common. Like, people still commonly go to public phone, because outside of their home they don't have any personal phone, they have to go to public phone. I'm not sure wherever you live, is public phone is still a thing, or it's totally extinct. I don't know, but it's quite rare, I think, I assume nowadays, right? Because people do not have the need to go to the public phone anymore, right? So I think for those who are of my age, you have actually gone through, we actually have seen the phone where you have to dial, where this number and the rotating thing, right? I have seen that in my life when I was young. I have meaning I have seen that era. And then we have what we have right now, the number, and you press the button, and then there's the smartphone come into the picture. No, not smartphone, just a portable phone, like handphone, right? From Nokia, I think that era, Nokia is the most famous. I'm not sure about your part of the world, but in my part of the world, Nokia is most common. 3310, those kind of things. To another phase where we start to have bigger and bigger screen. There's combination of button and also touch screen, and now basically practically everything is touch screen, right? So there's transition where uh, the new generation, where this from the day they were born, is already full touch screen like this, right? They might not even be able to imagine before phone is like this, right? Where you have, I don't even have a model here, where you have button and just the screen is the smallest part of the front of the phone, right? That was the day, right? This is beside the topic, right? But okay, it's still related to text messaging. I still remember the day when we have that button, right? And just the small screen is just to show the number or short message that we can see. Because SMS is short messaging, is it system? But it's short message, right? At that time, I can actually still type type any message that I want without looking. Even if this phone is in my pocket and I put my hand in my pocket, right? I can still press to write a proper message and get it correct and send, right? Because we can memorize, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0 there, and like 1 is press once is A, press twice is B, press 3 times is C. So we can just feel where is the button and press, right? But with smartphone, I can no longer do that, meaning I cannot text message without looking, because I'm not sure if anyone can do that. If they can, meaning they have a very good memorization of where each ABC, because it's normally like a keypad, right? It's much more placement, and I think it's quite difficult for anyone to be able to touch. And plus, the previous one, we have specific button where in between is there's no reaction, right? So we know exactly where to press, but here if you slide, it can give some reaction otherwise, right? So that's something not on the topic, but just reminiscing on the good old days, as we call it. And I think anyone who actually watch a movie where there's that scene, right, where they message someone while having the phone on the pocket in the pants, and they send alert to someone else without people noticing it. I think that scene can be very difficult nowadays to do, but nowadays people don't need even to send SMS to get the message out, right? They have recorder, you can just call someone, put a speaker or something, mute on the other side, and then just basically this become a speaker and it transmit the sound, right? So people do not need to go to the same technique, right? But I'm just saying, I know this is a random thought, and suddenly that random thoughts come into my mind. Anyway, back to the text messaging, right? How have the ability to text message, especially nowadays when people no longer use SMS that much. Any one of you still use messaging SMS? I don't know if you still use it. Please comment how, why. That's weird to me. Why are people still using SMS? Because normally people use, I don't know, from my part of the world, WhatsApp is number one, I think, and then Telegram, I do use it a lot too. This is the two that I normally use, and because it's tied to the internet service provider, where it's included into the how much data. So meaning that we are not charged per SMS, right? Because no one because back then each SMS have its own price, right? Now it's just some data from the package, so you can just send how many you want, right? There's no implication on the cost in that sense, right? So what was my point now? Okay, so with that ability, right, it changed the way we communicate, I think. For example, in a working place, right? So the effect of this thing, for example, we create a group, WhatsApp group for workplace, right, for the team at work. I think one okay, we look at the positive side first. um, Sorry, it does enable the communication to go uh, outside of office hour, and perhaps, for example, we don't need to wait for tomorrow at work to get a certain update that we need at night, for example, that we can do something and then tomorrow it's already, we have, how to say, we have gone, we can solve some work or some needs, etc., for example. You know what I mean, right? So it does give that opportunity, but I think with that also it gives a certain implication, in the sense that one, sometimes it comes with the expectation that you should be responding, you should be working still outside of the normal working hour, right? So it actually can make you have some form of a meeting 24/7. Do you know what I mean? Meaning, back in the day, if we want to make a decision, we set a time, we go to the meeting, we know by the end of the meeting we have to have a decision, so that until the next meeting everyone know exactly what they need to do, right? But with this opportunity, with this technology that we have, we can actually make some decision to pending, to be decided together in a group, WhatsApp group, after that, right? So it actually extend the meeting time to exceed the time actually we meet together to practically 24/7, right? And suddenly someone have an idea, they throw out there, and then they discuss, etc. So you go back home, or there's something still on there, you respond, you give idea, etc. So the thing is, the work life, the work meeting, etc., becomes the whole life, the whole time you have that still, right? So maybe we didn't realize this, but it does have some effect on how we balance things, right? And if we see it as that, we see it as, wait, how come I'm still in the meeting for almost throughout the day, and is this healthy, right? So that is among the thing that maybe we didn't realize we should think of, but I think it does have a significant impact on how we view life, and whether that should be the norm or not, right? So yeah, that's what I think. Related to work, it can extend our meeting, our discussion outside of the time at the office, right? The ability to still communicate outside of office time is significantly good, to make work progress if needs to, outside of the office hour, right? So, but when it becomes the norm, when a boss can ask the employee, for example, at any time of the day, and expect to be responded at at any time of the day, then basically your work becomes throughout the day, right? And is that healthy? That's a question that we can think of, right? Now, so let's go into other aspect of our life. For example, now, I have kids, I have children, they go to school, And the sometimes they have this WhatsApp group with that the teacher is there and the parent of the children in that classroom, for example, is also there. So it's good that we can directly communicate with the teacher if need be, right? Now, let me complain as a parent first, right? Now, it does give, okay, positive first, right? Let's start with the positive. Such technology, such opportunity does have a positive in the sense that, for example, the teacher can remind the parent of something. For example, reminder, tomorrow the kids will have this activity, please bring so and so, right? So for example, we might forget, and that reminder will be significant that the kid will bring this, whatever, right? For example, or the other way around, a parent can inform the teacher in any case of emergency, or the kid is sick, cannot go to school. I think previously, the next day maybe the kid will bring some letter to the teacher and as a reasoning of why he was absent yesterday, right? But now we can inform it there and then, right? Before the beginning of the class, the teacher can already know, okay, this kid cannot come today, right? So that's positive. However, this is where the complaint comes in, and both sides can complain. To be fair, let's hear the complaint from the teacher side, because I've heard this among the teacher. They complain about this. When they cannot rest, I think the life of a teacher is hard enough. They have to prepare for the lesson, they have to conduct the lesson. Okay, I'm talking from the perspective of teachers in Malaysia. I'm not sure whether in any other countries the norm is the same or not, the expectation of the teacher is the same or not, right? So the teacher are loaded a lot to teach and other technical work as well, and so I would assume they really want to rest after a long day job, right? But suddenly with this, the parent can message the teacher, what's going on with this, what's about tomorrow, etc., and the teacher sometimes are expected to respond, right? So it can become a real hassle, especially a teacher have many children in the class, right? So if each parent behave that way, like suddenly question come throughout the night randomly, so it must be terrible, I think, that if the teacher is constantly bombarded with questions like this. I'm not sure if anyone actually enjoy such communication, right? No communication, I mean such, how to say, meaning you are still busy at night, you are still busy outside of the school time, and that can be quite daunting and put unnecessary pressure and stress onto the teacher, right? So that's on the teacher side, right? Because this communication channel opens up the possibility that the parent can directly ask the teacher and expect the teacher to respond throughout the day, right? Talking about this, I think some teacher actually have it figured out and really have a system where from day one they set a standard. I will not answer from this hour to this hour, etc., right? So maybe that's one way out, right? But anyway, on the parent side now, if back in the day, right, if there's any assignment or anything that the student have to bring or whatever, the teacher have to make sure that the message goes to the student before they go back home at the end of the day, before that day, right? Meaning, for example, if today the student need to bring something, yesterday the teacher have to already make sure the message is delivered to all the student. And if he forgot, then next day he cannot blame anyone, because then he have to plan otherwise, right? But now the teacher have a channel to just instruct the parent, okay, tomorrow there's something something and something, please make sure to your kid bring something something. And this is for me it's really how to say when it happened, right? I'm not saying it happened too often, but when it happened, it is unnecessary burden on me to, especially when the things need to be bought. I don't have it in our house. I need whatever robe or something, what I don't have that in the house, I have to go and buy. And for any parent that their norm at night is just resting at home, maybe they do not mind that much. Oh, okay, we have to go out and buy something for the kid tomorrow, right? Meaning for the kid to bring to school tomorrow, right? So let's go out. But for myself, where most of my nights is occupied, meeting, alcoholic programs, whatever, so suddenly to insert that time to go to the to any shop, right? It's because I'm not free, I'm not available at the time to perform that duty, right? So when that happen, it does really become, I think, okay, if how to say, if this is the outcome of having this communication channel, then is it still positive to me, basically, right? Some parents, as I said, who don't have any other engagement or commitment at night, is what's the big deal, right? But for people like me, where we are occupied most of the time at night, weekdays especially, it's tough. And suddenly, oh, you have to buy what? When should I insert or slot in time to go to the shop when I have this commitment? Meaning, it's so that's a complaint. Not to, I actually do not have the intention to rant, but I'm not sure is this heading to that direction. Hopefully not. Anyway, so that's among the thing. So it's already 32 minutes, so it's half an hour already. So that's some of random thoughts on the effect of text messaging system, the availability of that system, and how it impacted our life, right? How does text message impact your life? Feel free to share, comment, and insights that I have never thought of, for example. Please do share. Yeah, I think that's about it. Several things. The reason I start to do this is actually I want to go into some heavy topics, important topics, for example, on the purpose of life, religion, is religion necessary, etc., etc., things of that nature. But I haven't actually got into that yet, right? Not sure why. I'm not stalling, I don't think I am, but that's the thing. I have this thought before when I started to do some vlog back then when I'm in France, and when I come back here I stopped, right? And I thought to myself, what's the reason? Because sometimes you can say, especially if you do it quite consistently, right, will you actually be running out of idea what to talk about? At the time I thought to myself, well, not really, because I have a lot of things that I think I can say about. I'm this disclaimer, I'm not saying that when I have many things that I can say about or to share about, it would be interesting to anyone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I have something to say, right? but the issue is to find time to actually have this process. That's a big issue, I think, right? And sometimes that it leads to some backlog of ideas, right? I want to talk about that, and then okay, maybe next time, and then before that next time of recording, you have some ideas, and then yeah, right. So I'm just explaining why suddenly I diverted the you know I wanted to talk about those topics in the beginning. That's my intention, but never reached there because along the way I see uh like this just now, right? I see someone texting while riding a motorcycle. I thought of something, and maybe I just share it here, right? And yeah, that keep happening. It become a distraction. Is it a distraction? So I don't know. So that's just to explain it anyway. um but hopefully soon we will start going into that. Another thing, I think subconsciously what this is what happened in my thought process. Let us talk about important topic when I have an audience, so that the impact is maximum, right? If I talk it now with no one is actually watching, what's the purpose, right? But I think it's self-defeating, that kind of thought, because when you never talk about that, uh, people that are interested in that topic, there's no reason to watch what I'm seeing right now, right? Because it's not related to that topic. So it becomes self-defeating in the sense that um, I'm waiting for an audience before I want to talk about the topic, but the audience will not come if I never talk about it, right? So it becomes, it become like that forever and ever. So I think we'll just go for it. If anyone is actually interested, they might look for it, and if they got something from it, they might want to watch for another, for example. So hopefully 1 year from now, there will be someone watching my video, hopefully. So but that's not the end goal. The end goal is for someone to actually benefit and act upon any positive things that I share. And why? Because then the reward will also get to me, right? So that's the aim in the beginning anyway. Hopefully that will happen. If not, this is, well, hopefully the effort is also being looked at by the Almighty God as a good effort, and He will reward it accordingly too, hopefully, inshallah. So okay, so just a little plug before we end this one. Ramadan have passed more than 1 month, right? Shawwal have already passed days ago. So just a question, how many of us is still performing our Salatul Witr, right? The Salat of Witr at the end of the night, regardless. When I say at the end of the night, it's not just before Fajr, meaning at the end of the night, meaning before we sleep, for example, or we get back up before Fajr. Either way, right? And how many of us are still having this as a routine, right? If not, please do consider, because it is not a small act of worship, this Salatul Witr, and we have proven to ourselves in Ramadan that we can do it every night. And I hope if you are Muslim, you actually did every night in the months of Ramadan, right? I hope, because that's normally we see that as a bare minimum, right? Normally Tarawih and Witr. So we have proven to ourselves, our own self, that we are capable of performing those ibadah. Hopefully we still continue after that, because that's one of the sunnah of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he never not do, right? Salatul Witr. So that's just a plug in the end. Hopefully if you've forgotten, you insert that as your norm in your daily life. I always share this, for those who are so lazy to get up before Fajar, or have a difficult time to get up before Fajar to perform the witr, just perform it before you go to sleep. Right, that's easier, that's much easier, generally speaking, conceptually, theoretically, and should be easier in action also, but it becomes difficult because shaitan will whisper for you, just no, just no. Even easier, if that is even difficult, right, before you go to sleep you have to perform wudu and then salat. If that is even sound difficult, the easiest is, I think, just after Isha prayer, finish it with witir, right? That's the easiest, I think, because you just add salat witir after Isha. Should not be a problem, right? So hopefully, if you haven't done that, you do that, and hopefully I will get reward also for reminding that and for triggering some of you to actually perform that in your life, inshallah. Wallahu alam, Allah knows best. I will end the streaming now. I'm not sure if there's any benefit from today's sharing, right? It's just like a rant. Is it a rant? Or, you know, sharing of a generic topic? But hopefully it's of benefit for me, because I don't think anyone is actually watching anyway. Hopefully this become a training for me to, develop my fluency more, inshallah, and hopefully that is for the best for the future endeavor. Wallahu alam. I'm not purposely stalling, but I have that habit of talking. Okay, so this is a random thought on texting or text messaging. Really, hopefully, in the next one we can start talk about heavy stuff, inshallah, God willing. So thank you very much for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a very productive day, week, and month, inshallah. And yeah, see you soon.